that is a band that is not going to stop being one of my favourite bands for a long, long time, even though Kindred Souls got the hashtag this week. But yeah, brilliant band, love it.
Well, before you turn next tune, the one that's been on in my car for a few days on repeat is Radiohead's Kid A.
I love that album so much, man.
And
it's one of my favourite ever albums. I'm sure I've said it before.
Oh, same here. And you know what? I was talking to Brian from NYC Factory Fast Records yesterday, and we were talking about like certain tunes that may be good for like a movie soundtrack, the opening, beginning, what have you. And he goes, "Would you ever consider doing something like that?" I said, "Well, you know what? It wouldn't be fun, it'd be challenging, but the question would be is how many times do I change my mind? And go, no, that can't go there. That's got to go there." Right, and that sort of thing. And I said, well, one of my favorite openings, like one thing that's one of the best, kind of fitting for the song, was Vanilla Sky, when he runs out and gets into his car, and the New York streets, they're completely empty. They're playing everything in its right place. Like that was the kind of perfect timing, great song for that scene right there.
Yeah, every track on the album is fantastic, and that is an absolute banger. Idiotech still really gives me goosebumps.
Oh, yeah, right, eh?
A class tune. And the version of Morning Bell on that one's really good. So,
yeah, because there's two.
It's amazing, really.
Yeah, if people don't know, there's a second version of Morning Bell on Amnesiac.
Yes, yeah, which again is good, but it's weird because I think they were both recorded at the same time, and they just split the tracks up.
Oh, really?
And presumably mastered them differently and put them onto two different albums. But for me, Kid A, they're both really good albums, but Kid A absolutely nails it for me. It's just stunning. It's so good. It's and people are always surprised when I say it, because if you listen to this or just me generally, I talk a lot about music with anyone that's there, even if they're not willing to listen. And I'm always going on about, proper filthy rock and roll. And so people don't assume that I would love that Radiohead album so much, but honestly, it's just class. It's really good. So yeah, man. Proper good. Nice, another little side. We're doing a lot of side tracks tonight, and they're all class. This is
right.
Talk radio. This is what podcasts are all about, man. Love it.
So next up, we have a brand new one by Audio Kings of the Third World. This one's called Fear of. Dig this.
Things I have not. Things I
Right on. Audio Kings of a Third World with Fear of. And man, that was a tripped out tune to say the least. I know I say it a lot, but one of my favorite things about this tune is the breakdown. Every time the breakdown happened, man, it was like a Jim Morrison-esque kind of vocal that would happen in a Doors tune. And with with a filthy kind of dirty alternative grunge rock at the end, it was a great tune. But I love that each and every time, man. It was a Jim Morrison breakdown that was really, really, really cool, and it fit the song so well. So right on, man. Great tune.
In it, that's exactly what gets you. And I mean, mate, anyone that's ever listened to the show knows I love the Doors. You're absolutely right. It just, again, it gives you goosebumps. It's like, yeah, come on. Yeah, really cool tune. And again, another great band that have such different mix of influences running through that. You know, there's definitely a Doors thing and that kind of era, but there's definitely a naughty 90s thing. We didn't plan this to sound so 90s, this show, but it does in a really good way. There's just so much good stuff to say about that. It just fits together really well. It's kind of almost... it's got a little bit of a kind of, it almost sort of sits behind the groove a little bit and feels quite chilled out, but then equally it's quite intense, which I think is a really smart thing. I just really, really enjoy it. It's a great tune. The vocal's great. It's another great sing-along one, isn't it? So, brilliant. Really, really cool.
Right on. Well, next up, we have a band called Operation Neptune Spear. They're on Twitter as The One Chez, and they're currently working on a new song for us, and obviously they always want an NMS, which is cool. So I said, well, you know what, why don't you pick the song this time around, because I'm not sure which one to go with. So they suggested a song. It's a song called The Patriot. Dig this. Operation Neptune Spear. Dig this. Operation Neptune Spear, man, that was a cool tune. It started off like with a Beatles-esque flow to it, then ran to kind of alternative like rock and roll, man. That was great. Like, I love the transition. I mean, it was a little bumpy, but bumpy in a good way. You know, it wasn't a bad kind of jump, but like it was very impressive. I really dug it.
I love jumps like that, and it really surprised me when I was listening to it earlier. I thought it was going to be a completely different tune. And actually, the Georgia one we played earlier had a really good, just didn't mention it, had a really good bit where it kind of almost faded out and then it came back in with a vocal thing. And this was similar, and it played that kind of, like you say, Beatles-esque bit, and then came in with this alternative thing, which is really cool. It always reminds me of, I was very, very drunk once. We got back from the pub, went to a friend's house, and this will sound strange, but there's a point. And we watched, now I can't remember the name of the film. We watched the film.
I wonder why.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really famous as well. It's really annoying. This is going to be a crap story if I can't remember it. But anyway, there's a film where it starts off and you think, I don't know what the hell this is going to be about. It's the one where there's the people in the camper van and they're going across the border and whatever else. And then suddenly it turns into this vampire film. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that.
Oh, Dusk Till Dawn.
You know the one that
Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, and whenever someone does something like this track did at the beginning, it reminds me of that film, because it's just that change, that sort of juxtaposition of two completely different things that come together, which really, really excites me. It was cool. The other thing I really like about that is someone was once, I had a conversation once with someone about Black Sabbath, and they were saying, we're talking about Ozzy versus Dio, and they were saying the thing with Ozzy is how he kind of followed the guitar line. So if you think about Iron Man, that kind of dun,
right.
dun, 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 and that's what the vocals do. And then whereas Dio would sing kind of across the vocal, across the guitar, and do something completely different. And actually, you don't see many people now doing the kind of Ozzy style thing.
Right.
And that did at the beginning of those verses kind of where he follows that melody. And I think you've got a really strong melody like that going on in the background. That's a great thing to do. It's really interesting. And it kind of feels fresh, even though it's not really. But kind of that style is people have moved away from that, so it's really cool to hear. Yeah, great tune, really cool band.
Right on. So next up we have another one of our new favorites. This band's called Return to Void. This one's called Light Bearer. Dig this.
Remember the times we used to sing and feast. We danced around the fireside.